Admiral Tuck stood on the observation deck of the Confederation flagship Eternal Dominion staring at the holographic display with poorly concealed amusement. The human vessels appeared as tiny specks against the backdrop of space, almost comical when compared to the massive warships of the Galactic Confederation. "They call this a fleet," he chuckled, turning to Fleet Commander Bora. "5 ships. The smallest provincial defense force has at least 50 vessels." Bora nodded, her silver uniform gleaming under the lights. "Intelligence reports suggest their technology is primitive. Their ships use conventional propulsion systems, and their weaponry appears to be basic kinetic and directed energy." The Admiral zoomed in on the lead human vessel. It was sleek but small, with what appeared to be outdated sensor arrays and minimal weapon ports. The design was unlike anything in the Confederation database, oddly elegant in its simplicity, but surely ineffective in actual combat. "Perhaps they sent these vessels as a gesture," suggested Technical Advisor Han, who had been quietly analyzing the data. "Their actual military might be elsewhere." Admiral Take waved his hand dismissively. "Or perhaps this is all they have. Look at those propulsion signatures. I haven't seen such inefficient energy patterns since our early space exploration days." The observation deck fell silent as the human delegation was escorted in by Confederation guards. The 5 representatives wore simple blue uniforms with minimal decorations, another sign of their apparent lack of sophistication. The human ambassador, Captain Jun, stepped forward. He was of average height for a human, with calm eyes that betrayed no emotion. Despite the barely hidden mockery from the Confederation representatives, he maintained a dignified posture. "The human alliance extends its hand in friendship," Jun stated calmly, offering a slight bow. "We may be few in number, but we hope to establish peaceful relations." Commander Bora raised an eyebrow. The translation was perfect, unusually so for first contact. Most species required multiple attempts before achieving such linguistic precision. "Of course, Captain," Admiral Tak replied with a thin smile. "The Confederation welcomes all species, no matter how modest their capabilities." Captain Jun nodded, showing no reaction to the obvious condescension. "We understand our position as newcomers to galactic society. We simply wish to learn and trade peacefully." "Trade?" asked Fleet Commander Bora with poorly disguised amusement. "And what exactly could your species offer the Confederation?" One of the human delegates, a quiet woman named Yuma, stepped forward with a small container. "Perhaps this might be of interest," she said, opening it to reveal a small crystal that pulsed with an internal blue light. Technical Advisor Han moved closer, his scanner hovering over the object. His eyes widened slightly. "It appears to be a compressed energy source. Quite efficient, actually." There was a note of surprise in his voice. Admiral Tak glanced at the reading and shrugged. "An interesting trinket. Our scientists might find it worthy of study." He gestured to an aide who took the container and placed it on a nearby examination table. "We have prepared quarters for your delegation during your visit," Admiral Tak continued. "My aide will show you to your accommodations. We will continue formal discussions tomorrow." Captain Jun bowed again. "We appreciate your hospitality, Admiral." As the humans departed the meeting, escorted by Confederation security, General Juan whispered to Tak, "Did you see their primitive sensor arrays? It's like watching children playing with toys." "Indeed," Tak replied, watching the humans exit, "though I must admit there's something unusual about them. They seem overly confident for a species with such limited capabilities." "Ignorance breeds confidence," Bora added with a slight smirk. "They probably don't understand how insignificant they truly are." Later that evening, Technical Advisor Han requested a private meeting with Admiral Tak. His face was unusually serious as he entered the Admiral's quarters. "Sir, I've completed my analysis of the human crystal," he said, placing a datapad on the desk. "And?" Tak asked, barely interested. "It's unlike anything we've encountered. The energy density is remarkable. at least 3 times more efficient than our best power sources, and the crystalline structure suggests it's not naturally occurring. They engineered this. Admiral Tack frowned, picking up the pad. That can't be right. Their ships show no signs of such advanced technology. That's what concerns me, Han replied. Either our readings of their ships are incorrect, or they're hiding their true capabilities. Tack finished, suddenly more alert. Aboard the lead human vessel, now docked at the Confederation station, Captain Jun met with his team in a secured chamber that blocked all known forms of surveillance. Assessment, he asked simply. Yuna, the science officer who had presented the crystal, smiled slightly. They underestimate us completely, as expected. Their scans didn't penetrate our hull shielding. They believe our ships are primitive. And the crystal? Jun asked. A calculated risk, Yuna admitted, but necessary to establish our value as potential trading partners. They detected only its basic properties. The quantum computational aspects remained hidden. The tactical officer, Ta, looked less pleased. Their fleet is substantial. 17 capital ships, over 200 support vessels. Their weapon systems are, as our probes indicated, powerful but predictable. Captain Jun nodded, processing this information. And their defenses against our specialized capabilities. Non-existent, confirmed Yuna. They have no countermeasures for our neural-linked targeting systems or quantum weaponry. They don't even seem aware such technologies are possible. Jun walked to the viewport, watching Confederation personnel moving about the docking bay. Remember our mission. We observe, we learn, we avoid conflict if possible. The 5 ships in our exploratory fleet are more than capable of defending themselves, but we are not here to start a war. And if they start one? Asked Ta quietly. Captain Jun turned from the viewport, his expression calm but resolute. Then they will quickly learn that humanity's appearance of weakness is its greatest deception. Behind our 5 ships stands the full might of the human alliance, a power forged through centuries of internal conflict and technological evolution that these people cannot begin to comprehend. What none of the Confederation leaders realized was that the 5 ships represented merely an exploratory vanguard, carefully designed to conceal the true extent of human technological advancement, a civilization that had learned to appear small until it was too late for their opponents to realize their mistake. The Emergency Council meeting of the Confederation High Command had been going for 3 hours. Tempers were rising. Most leaders were frustrated by the humans' continued presence in their space. The 5 small ships had not left after the initial diplomatic meeting. Instead, they had established a temporary outpost on an uninhabited moon near the border. These humans need to understand their place in the galactic hierarchy, insisted Commander Da, slamming his fist on the polished table. A minor demonstration of our power should suffice. Admiral Tack looked less certain. The energy crystal they provided showed unexpected technological advancement. Perhaps we should proceed with caution. One advanced energy source doesn't make them a threat, Fleet Commander Bora countered. Their ships remain primitive. Their weapon systems are basic. We detected no shield harmonics above level 3. Technical advisor Han cleared his throat nervously. I'm not entirely convinced our scans were accurate. Some readings were inconsistent. Commander Dai stood up, his tall figure casting a shadow across the table. This hesitation is unbecoming of the Confederation. Since when do we fear 5 tiny vessels? After further heated debate, a compromise was reached. The Confederation would conduct a routine inspection of the next human supply ship. This would demonstrate authority while avoiding direct confrontation. 2 days later, 3 Confederation cruisers, each 10 times the size of the human vessels, took position near the border of claimed space. Their sensors detected an approaching human ship. Captain 1 commanded the lead cruiser, the Unyielding Dominion *. Target acquired, his tactical officer reported. It's a small supply vessel, matching known human configurations. Minimal defenses detected. 1 smiled confidently. Perfect. Move to intercept pattern. Let's show these primitives how the galaxy really works. The three massive cruisers moved with practiced precision, their engines glowing bright against the darkness of space. They arranged themselves in a triangular formation around the approaching human vessel, a sleek but small ship with the name Swift Horizon visible on its hull. Human vessel, Captain 1 transmitted, his voice dripping with authority. This is Captain 1 of the Confederation vessel Unyielding Dominion Prepare to be boarded for routine inspection. There was a brief pause before a response came. The holographic display showed a woman with calm eyes and short black hair in a simple blue uniform. Confederation vessel, this is Captain Mina of the Swift Horizon We acknowledge your request, but must inform you that boarding without prior diplomatic agreement violates interstellar convention. Captain 1 was surprised by the perfect translation and the woman's composed demeanor. He had expected fear, or at least nervousness. Conventional rules applied to conventional powers. One sneered, nodding to his tactical officer. Prepare boarding teams. Target their engine systems. I don't want them running. Yes, Captain, the tactical officer replied, entering commands into his console. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. The tactical display showed small objects deploying from the human vessel at incredible speed. What are those? One demanded. Unknown devices, too small for weapons. The tactical officer responded, confusion evident in his voice. They appear to be drones, but the energy signature is. Before he could finish, the lights on the bridge flickered. The tactical display went dark, then returned showing only basic functions. Weapon systems are offline, shouted the tactical officer. Targeting arrays disabled. Impossible, whispered the officer, staring at his useless console. Their technology shouldn't be capable of this. Similar reports came in from the other two cruisers. All three Confederation vessels had lost weapons capability simultaneously, though life support and propulsion remained functional. The human captain's image appeared again on the still-functioning communication system. Her expression remained calm, almost sympathetic. Confederation vessels, this is Captain Mina. We have temporarily disabled your offensive capabilities. No permanent damage has been done. We request you withdraw and address future concerns through diplomatic channels. Captain 1's face flushed with anger and embarrassment. How dare you attack Confederation ships? This is an act of war. No attack has occurred. Captain Mina replied evenly. No personnel have been harmed. No structural damage has been inflicted. Your systems will reset automatically once we depart. We merely defended ourselves against unauthorized boarding. On the Swift Horizon Captain Mina turned to her tactical officer after ending the transmission. Status of the defensive drones. All functioning perfectly, he replied. The targeted EMP pulses disabled only their weapon systems as intended. Their internal scans show they're trying to bring systems back online, but the quantum lock will hold for approximately 6 hours. And our status? Mina asked. Our shields never dropped below 95%. Their scans still show us as a basic supply vessel with minimal defenses. He smiled slightly. They have no idea what they're dealing with. Mina nodded, set course back to the outpost, and prepare a full report for Captain June. The Confederation has made their first move sooner than expected. Back at Confederation headquarters, the Council reconvened to discuss the embarrassing incident. The mood was tense as Captain 1's report was reviewed. 3 cruisers disabled by one tiny ship. Commander Day said in disbelief, "This cannot be correct." Admiral Tack raised his hand for silence. The report appears accurate. The human vessel deployed some form of targeted electromagnetic weapon that temporarily disabled our offensive systems. But our ships have shielding against such attacks, Fleet Commander Bora protested. Technical Advisor Han looked troubled. Not against the specific frequency they used. It appears they identified a vulnerability in our shield harmonics that we ourselves were unaware of. A heavy silence fell over the room as the implication sank in. Perhaps, Admiral Tech finally said, "We have underestimated these humans." Commander Dai shook his head vehemently. "No. One lucky countermeasure does not make them our equals. They obviously designed a specific device to target our systems. A clever trick, nothing more." Admiral Tak studied the replay of the encounter once more. The precision of the human response troubled him. It was too perfect, too measured, as if they had prepared for exactly this scenario. "Luck," he declared finally, though doubt lingered in his mind. "Nothing more. But perhaps we should observe them more carefully before any further demonstrations." What none of them realized was that the Swift Horizon had transmitted detailed scans of the Confederation vessel's shield frequencies, weapon systems, and structural weaknesses back to the human outpost. Information that would prove invaluable in the confrontations to come. Commander Jin paced the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Victory *. His patience worn thin by weeks of inaction. The embarrassment of the Swift Horizon incidents still burned in the Confederation's collective memory. Yet the High Command had ordered only observation of the human outpost on Proxima Station. "Cowards," Jin muttered, stopping to stare at the tactical display. The small human presence, just 4 ships now, continued their peaceful activities, establishing a small research station on the moon's surface. Jin's second-in-command, Officer Quan, approached cautiously. "Sir, the surveillance reports show no threatening activities from the humans." "Of course not," Jin snapped. "They're biding their time, studying our weaknesses. Can't you see? This passive approach makes us look weak." That evening, Jin called a private meeting with his most loyal officers. The room was secured against monitoring, the displays showing detailed maps of the Proxima region. "The High Command has lost its courage," Jin told them, his voice low but intense. "These humans made fools of us once, and now we do nothing. I won't stand for it." "What are you suggesting, Commander?" asked his tactical officer. Jin's eyes gleamed with determination. "I'm suggesting we take action. I have command of 15 ships in this sector, more than enough to crush 4 human vessels and their pitiful outpost." Without authorization, Officer Quan asked, clearly uncomfortable. "By the time we return victorious, no one will question our actions," Jin replied confidently. "History will remember us as the ones who put humans in their place." Within 6 hours, Jin had assembled his battle group. 15 warships ranging from heavy cruisers to fast attack vessels. They departed under the pretense of a training exercise. "Set course for Proxima Station," Jin ordered once they were beyond regular communication range. "Prepare all weapons systems. Today we teach these humans the true meaning of power." At Proxima Station, the 4 human defenders were already aware of the approaching threat. Their long-range sensors, far more advanced than the Confederation realized, had detected the battle group shortly after it departed. Captain Sung, a veteran of Earth's last war, calmly reviewed the tactical display in the command center of the lead human vessel, the Silent Guardian *. 15 ships, noted his tactical officer. Heavy weapons signatures on all vessels. Captain Sung nodded. "And their command frequencies?" "Encrypted, but we've already broken their patterns. They're not using standard Confederation protocols. This appears to be an unauthorized action." Sung's expression remained neutral. "Inform the outpost to activate protective measures. Move all personnel to secure stations, and contact Captain Jun. He should be informed, though I don't believe we'll need reinforcements." The human ships moved into a defensive formation that appeared, to conventional military doctrine, to be hopelessly inadequate. 4 small vessels spread thin to protect the moonbase. When the Confederation ships emerged from faster-than-light travel, Commander Jin's smile was triumphant. The human formation looked exactly as weak as he had expected. "Open communications," he ordered. Captain Sung's image appeared on the main screen, his calm demeanor unchanged despite the overwhelming odds facing him. "Human outpost," Jin announced, not bothering to hide his satisfaction. "This is Commander Jin of the Confederation Battle Group Righteous Fury *. Surrender your outpost immediately." Captain Sung's response was measured. "Commander Jin, we respectfully decline. Please reconsider your actions. This aggressive move has not been sanctioned by your government, and conflict would benefit neither of our peoples." Jin was momentarily startled that the human knew this was an unauthorized action, but he quickly recovered. His laughter echoed through the communication channel. "4 ships against 15. Your bravery is admirable but foolish. You have 10 minutes to reconsider before we open fire." As the communication ended, Jin turned to his officers. "Prepare all weapons. Target their engines first. I want their ships intact for study." "Sir," his sensor officer interrupted, "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the human vessels. They appear to be activating systems we haven't seen before." "Of course they are," Jin replied dismissively. "Desperate measures. It won't help them." The 10 minutes passed quickly. When the humans made no move to surrender, Jin gave the order. "All ships, commence attack." What followed was unlike anything recorded in Confederation military history. As the first volley of Confederation weapons fire approached, the human vessels suddenly accelerated with impossible speed. Their movements were precise and coordinated in ways that defied normal reaction times. It was as if the ships and their crews were functioning as a single organism. "How are they moving like that?" Jin demanded as the tactical display showed his first wave of attacks missing completely. Before his officers could respond, the human counterattack began. Their weapon systems fired in perfectly coordinated sequences. Beams of energy unlike anything in Confederation records cut through space, somehow bypassing shield frequencies that should have been unknown to them. "Shields failing on cruisers 3 and 7, reported the communications officer as frantic messages flooded in. Jin watched in disbelief as the humans employed technologies the Confederation had never encountered. Adaptive shield frequencies that changed faster than targeting systems could adjust, quantum-linked targeting systems that seemed to predict movement patterns, and most frighteningly, gravitational manipulation weapons that created localized distortions in space. "Impossible," Jin whispered as 3 more of his ships reported complete system failures. Within 15 minutes, half of Jin's battle group was disabled, their systems offline, crews intact but powerless. The human vessels moved with continuing precision, separating the remaining Confederation ships and neutralizing them one by one. "Order all remaining vessels to concentrate fire on the lead human ship," Jin commanded, desperation entering his voice. The 5 operational Confederation ships managed to coordinate their attack, focusing massive firepower on the Silent Guardian *. For a moment, Jin allowed himself to hope as the human vessel disappeared in a blinding flash of energy. When the light faded, the Silent Guardian * remained, its shields visibly rippling but intact. "How?" Jin gasped. "Our combined firepower should have vaporized it." The next wave of human counterattacks disabled 4 more Confederation ships. Within 20 minutes of the battle's start, 12 Confederation ships were completely neutralized, floating powerless in space. The remaining 3, including Jin's flagship, were surrounded. Captain Sung's voice came through on all channels. "Commander Jin, this conflict is unnecessary. Power down your weapons, and we can discuss terms." Jin, his face pale with shock, ordered a final, desperate attack. His flagship launched its most powerful weapons, planet-killer missiles designed to penetrate any known defense. The humans didn't even attempt to shoot them down. Instead, a field of energy expanded from one of their vessels, enveloping the missiles. When the field dissipated, the missiles were gone, apparently converted to harmless energy. Moments later, Jin's flagship lost power. The lights dimmed around him as all systems went dark except basic life support. "How?" he whispered in the sudden darkness. "How is this possible?" The defeat was total. News of the incident spread across Confederation space like wildfire. 15 warships defeated by 4 human vessels, with no casualties on either side. The humans had been careful to disable rather than destroy. 3 days later, a formal communication arrived from the Human Alliance. Despite the unprovoked attack, they'd maintained diplomatic composure, requesting only formal reparations and recognition of their sovereignty. The message ended with words that sent chills through the Confederation leadership. "We came in peace. We still desire peace. Please do not test our resolve again." The Supreme Council chamber was absolutely silent as the 7 most powerful leaders of the Galactic Confederation took their seats. The room was deep underground, surrounded by security measures that made it the most secure location in known space. Today, those precautions seemed especially necessary. Director Hyun stood alone at the center of the circular chamber. Her usually immaculate uniform showed signs of neglect. She had not slept in 3 days. Behind her, a holographic display waited, currently blank. "You requested this emergency session," Supreme Counselor Kyung said, his aged voice carrying easily in the silent room. "We understand you have completed your analysis of the Proxima incident." Hyun nodded, her expression grave. "Yes, Counselor. What I am about to share will change our understanding of our place in the galaxy." She activated the holographic display with a small gesture. Images of the human vessels appeared, rotating slowly. "We have been gravely mistaken about human capabilities," she began, her voice solemn. "Our initial assessment failed to recognize fundamental truths about their development." The holographic display shifted, showing detailed scans of human vessels obtained during the recent engagement. The images zoomed in on specific systems, highlighting technologies that made little sense to conventional Confederation science. "Each of their ships contains the equivalent firepower of 10 of ours," Hyun continued. "Their hull composition includes materials we've never encountered, a lattice structure that absorbs and redistributes energy in ways our weapons cannot overcome." The council members exchanged worried glances. Counselor Min, head of the military division, leaned forward. "How is this possible? Their civilization was only detected 50 years ago. Our intelligence indicated they achieved faster than light travel just 30 years ago." "That's what they wanted us to believe," Hyun replied. "In reality, they have been watching us for over a century, carefully managing what we could detect." She changed the display again, showing the battle at Proxima Station from multiple angles. The precision of the human movements was even more apparent in slow motion. "Their tactical systems operate on principles our scientists are still struggling to comprehend," she explained. "The ships move as if they share a single mind. Our initial theory was advanced artificial intelligence, but it's something more complex, a neural interface that links their crews directly to their vessels." Supreme Counselor Kyung leaned forward, his eyes fixed on the display. "How did we miss this?" "Because they wanted us to," Hyun replied simply. She hesitated before continuing, as if reluctant to share what came next. The display changed again, showing what appeared to be historical images from Earth, scenes of conflict spanning centuries. "We've discovered that humans evolved in isolation, their development forged through constant internal warfare. While other species evolved through cooperation, humans evolved through competition." Her voice grew quieter. "Their technology, their tactics, all shaped by thousands of years of fighting among themselves." Counselor Suk, the eldest member of the council, shook her head slowly. "Most species that evolve through such violence destroy themselves before reaching the stars. Humans came close, multiple times," Hyun agreed. "But each crisis pushed their technology further. They developed weapons we cannot comprehend, then learned to control themselves." The room fell silent as the implications became clear. A species forged in war, with technology beyond Confederation understanding, was now at their borders. "The vessels we encountered," Hyun continued, breaking the heavy silence, "are what they call light exploratory craft." She paused, gathering herself. "Their actual military fleet is substantially larger and more advanced. The display shifted to show intercepted communications, revealing the existence of human battle groups throughout nearby systems, ships that had remained completely undetected by Confederation sensors. How many? Counselor Min asked, his voice barely above a whisper. At minimum, several hundred capital ships, Hyun replied. Possibly more. Their stealth technology exceeds our detection capabilities. Counselor Min's face paled. That's enough to overwhelm our entire defense force. And yet they've shown remarkable restraint, noted Counselor Suk. Despite our provocations, they've avoided casualties on our side. Commander Jin's battle group was disabled, not destroyed. They could have eliminated all 15 ships in minutes. Director Hyun nodded solemnly. That may be the most frightening revelation of all. They could have destroyed us, but chose not to. She displayed footage from the Proxima battle, showing how the human vessels had carefully targeted weapons and propulsion systems while avoiding crew compartments. Our analysis suggests they were operating at less than 20% of their actual combat capability, Hyun added. They were being gentle. The council chamber remained silent for a long moment as this information sank in. Finally, Counselor Kyung spoke. You've had contact with their leadership. What do they want? They maintain their original position, Hyun replied. Peaceful relations, diplomatic recognition, and non-interference with their expansion into unoccupied systems. The same terms they offered before we provoked them. Counselor Suk noted with a hint of irony. Director Hyun nodded. There's more. My team interviewed the crews from the disabled ships. Several reported unusual experiences during the battle. When their ships lost power, they expected to die. Instead, they received communications from the humans, private messages in their native languages, perfect in dialect and cultural understanding. She displayed some of these messages on the screen. Your family on Taurus Prime is safe. Your children are beautiful. We mean them no harm. Your writings on interspecies ethics are insightful. We hope to discuss them with you personally someday. The crystal garden you maintain at your home on Ilara is remarkable. Such patience speaks well of your character. These are not things they should know, Counselor Min said, clearly disturbed. No, agreed Hyun. It suggests they've been studying us intimately for decades, learning our languages, our cultures, our personal lives, all while remaining completely undetected. The implications hung heavy in the air. If humans could gather such detailed intelligence undetected, what else might they know? Military deployment patterns, defense codes, Confederation weaknesses. Why would they reveal themselves now? Asked Counselor Kyung. If they have such advantages, why not remain hidden? Director Hyun's expression was troubled. Their ambassador says they've detected something approaching from beyond the galactic rim. Something that concerns them enough to seek allies rather than remain in isolation. A chill seemed to sweep through the chamber. Something that worries a species with their capabilities, Counselor Suk said quietly, should terrify us. Director Hyun nodded. There's one final thing you should know. When Captain Jun first arrived, he described humans as few in number. We assumed this meant their population was small. We were wrong. It was a linguistic subtlety. They meant they were sending few representatives. Earth alone has over 10 billion inhabitants. Their colonies hold billions more. She closed the holographic display with a simple gesture. We've been monitoring the minuscule fleet of an advanced civilization that has been watching us for a century, she concluded. They could have conquered us at any time. Instead, they knocked politely and asked to talk. I suggest we listen very carefully to what they have to say. The space station gleamed in the light of the nearby sun, its curved hull unlike any design in Confederation records. It had appeared suddenly 3 weeks ago, constructed by unseen human vessels in a remarkably short time. The station floated exactly halfway between Confederation space and the territory humans now openly claimed. Inside, the grand hall was simple but elegant. The walls displayed shifting patterns of light that somehow calmed the mind while maintaining full alertness. Confederation scientists had discreetly attempted to analyze the effect, but couldn't determine how it worked. Admiral Tak adjusted his formal uniform nervously. 6 months ago, he had been a military commander mocking the minuscule fleet of humans. Now he represented the Confederation's diplomatic corps at a formal apology ceremony. Life took strange turns. "They're ready for us," whispered his aide. Tak nodded and walked into the central chamber. The human delegation waited on the opposite side. Captain June stood at their center, wearing the same simple blue uniform he had worn at their first meeting. The difference was that no one was laughing at its simplicity now. The Confederation delegation, 20 of their highest officials, faced only 5 humans. The symbolism wasn't lost on Tak. "Let us begin," said the neutral mediator, a member of the Arturian species known for their fairness. Admiral Tak stepped forward. The prepared speech felt heavy in his mind. He had rehearsed it extensively, but now, facing Captain June, the formal words seemed inadequate. "On behalf of the Galactic Confederation," he began, then paused. Setting aside his prepared text, he continued more personally, "I extend our sincere apologies for our actions and our misunderstandings. We judged by appearance rather than substance. We assumed size meant strength. We were wrong, and our mistake nearly led to conflict that would have harmed both our peoples." A murmur ran through the Confederation delegation at this deviation from the approved text, but Tak continued. "The Confederation has existed for 3,000 years. In that time, we have sometimes grown complacent. Your arrival has reminded us that the galaxy still holds surprises." Captain June accepted with a gracious nod. "The human alliance values peace above all. We look forward to a new era of cooperation." His words were simple, but his eyes conveyed deeper meaning. Relief, perhaps, that conflict had been avoided. The formal treaty was signed with little ceremony. Both sides agreed to respect territorial boundaries, establish diplomatic relations, and begin cultural and scientific exchanges. What had begun with mockery was ending with mutual respect. As part of the reconciliation, the humans finally revealed their true capabilities. The center of the room transformed into a massive holographic display showing the actual human fleet. Hundreds of vessels of varying classes, many incorporating technologies the Confederation had believed theoretically impossible. Tak heard several Confederation officials gasp. What appeared were not just warships but vessels designed for exploration, scientific research, and purposes he couldn't even identify. The scale and sophistication exceeded even what Intelligence Director Hyun had estimated. "We developed differently," explained Captain June, gesturing to the display. "Our history taught us to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best." The hologram shifted to show Earth's history, centuries of warfare gradually giving way to periods of peace, each more lasting than the last. The final wars had nearly destroyed their civilization, but had instead forged an unlikely unity. "Our weapons were developed in conflict," Jum continued, "but our greatest achievements came in peace. We hope to share those with you." The display changed again, showing medical technologies, environmental restoration systems, and energy production methods far beyond Confederation capabilities. "In return," Jun said, "we hope to learn from your 3,000 years of galactic knowledge, particularly about what lies beyond the rim." Tak noticed how the room grew quieter at this reference. The approaching threat that had driven humans to reveal themselves remained a closely guarded secret, known only to the highest levels of both governments. After the ceremony, smaller meetings continued throughout the day. Tak found himself in conversation with Captain June in a quiet observation lounge. "I must ask," Tak said, looking out at the stars, "why reveal yourselves at all? With your technology, you could have remained hidden indefinitely." June smiled slightly. "Would you prefer we had?" "No," Tak admitted, "but it would have been the safer choice for you." "Perhaps in the short term," June agreed. "But isolation is ultimately a path to stagnation. Despite our technological advantages, your Confederation has much we need: experience, perspective, cultural richness. And there are threats in this galaxy that no civilization should face alone." Tak thought about the classified reports, the strange signals from beyond known space, the disappearance of outlying systems, the darkness approaching. Besides, June added with surprising humor, hiding gets lonely after a while. The changes came swiftly after the treaty signing. Within a year, several Confederation species had formed military and scientific partnerships with humans. The exchange of knowledge benefited both sides in unexpected ways. Human medical technology extended lifespans across the Confederation. Confederation cultural archives helped humans better understand the complex history of the galaxy. Joint military exercises prepared both sides for the coming challenge from beyond the rim. The phrase human-sized fleet entered common parlance throughout the galaxy, a term for something deceptively powerful despite modest appearances. Children played with toys of the famous 5 ships that had first contacted the Confederation, now celebrated as symbols of peaceful first contact despite the rocky beginning. 10 years later, Admiral Tak, now retired, sat in his garden writing his personal chronicles. The human-designed medical implant in his chest had given him years he would never have had otherwise. His grandchildren played with toys from Earth, speaking phrases in human languages they learned in school. He paused in his writing, considering how to summarize what had happened. Finally, he wrote, "We mocked what we didn't understand. We confused size with strength, numbers with power. The humans taught us to look deeper, to judge capability rather than appearance. Perhaps most importantly, they showed us that true strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to know when not to." He set down his pen and looked up at the night sky. Somewhere out there, human and Confederation ships patrolled together against the darkness approaching from beyond the rim. The battle would come, perhaps soon, but they would face it united, a partnership forged, ironically, from an initial mockery of a minuscule fleet that had proven to be anything but small in the ways that truly mattered.